design, build, install, and guarantee it for life.
Stay comfortable all year long and get 40% off all styles. Call now or download our free buyer's guide at getchampionwindows.com.
Hello. I like what did Avis post? People will throw stones at you. Don't throw them back. Collect them all and build an empire.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Get this low mileage lease on this 2021 Buick Encore GX for around $209 per month, or get $2,700 purchase allowance.
Subaru is a 7-time most trusted brand winner according to Kelly Blue Book. And right now at Gresham Subaru, get financing as low as 0% for 63 months on Outback and other select models, plus a free lifetime limited warranty. See GreshamSubaru.com.
To hug or not to hug?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Say, hey, are you open for hugs? And the good old-fashioned handshake, is it making a comeback?
Then, huge reaction to the 60 Minutes report on UFOs.
After so many years of mockery, there really may be...
Wolf wants me to check his account.
The mystery beauties and the embattled congressman.
The shocking report about the wild party inside his hotel room.
Plus, the inside story on how they found the missing tiger. Did this woman have him all along? Then, the Little Mermaid swimsuit. Is it too dangerous for girls to swim in?
Well, oh.
The new Miss Universe. No bikini ban here. Plus, call him Batman. Look out, man, flying. He's still on the
I'm just check. Wolf wants me to.
who he's talking to.
Wolf wants me to check his profile for 1 second. He'll be right back on screen.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. For more than a year, we've all had a
0 weeks in a row, Wolf?
But with the new relaxed rules on masks, can we also go back
You
to
went
hugging?
live last
How do
week.
you know
Why?
if someone wants to be hugged?
Why does it say 0?
Who's ready for a big hug? As COVID restrictions are eased, we can all get a little
Oh,
closer, but not everyone is ready to
you didn't
start
go to any
embracing again.
social
You're a hugger, for
multi-classing
sure.
platforms, so it didn't count.
After a year of lockdown, some of us, it seems, have turned into Jerry Seinfeld.
You gotta start over.
Nothing personal. It just makes me a little uncomfortable
Whoops.
and I can't do it. Etiquette
That's
expert
okay.
Elaine Swan says it's one
Here,
thing
he's
to hug
back.
our grandchildren, but don't be surprised if you're rejected by friends and coworkers. Ask first. Don't use any movement towards them, but instead keep to yourself, making them feel comfortable and say, hey, are you open for hugs? And once you get that permission, then go right on in. She says even the good old-fashioned handshake, which has pretty much been vanished since the pandemic began, may be slow in making a comeback. I would say, hey, I'm fully vaccinated. Are you open for
He's like, don't
handshake?
fucking come near me.
For the all clear. Yeah,
Sorry.
handshakes are back.
Wolf doesn't like that language.
Many of us went maskless in public, but there's still so much confusion. 22 states still have some sort of mask mandate in place. Actor Ricky Schroeder is coming under fire after he got into it with a Costco manager in California when he was denied entry for being maskless.
Nationwide Costco that said you don't need to wear masks. Actually, that's not happening, and the mandate in California has not changed.
I don't think people like Ricky Schroeder are helping things by harassing employees.
He later apologized.
I was trying to make a point to the corporate overlords, and sorry that I had to use you to do it.
It's your boy, Fauci, the patron saint of Puro.
SNL poked fun at all.
A lot of people had questions, such as, what does it mean? What the hell are you talking about? Is this a trap? According to the CDC, as of this morning, 37% of adults in this country are fully vaccinated. It used to be that UFO sightings were the purview of tabloids and gossip magazines, but not anymore. This weekend, 60 Minutes tackled the subject, interviewing retired military pilots about bizarre, unexplained aircraft they encountered. Well, it turns out the U.S. government has known about this for years and may now finally be taking the report seriously.
Last night's 60 Minutes story on UFO sightings by U.S. Navy pilots is
is causing a big reaction today.
Hello to the viewers and the replay viewers.
None like this.
Notice the graphic UAP. That stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, better known as UFOs.
The 60 Minutes report yesterday was unbelievable.
The report focused on this extraordinary UFO sighting off Florida in 2015.
My God.
The UFO phenomenon has been around for more than 70 years and has become something of a joke. But Luis Elizondo, a former member of a secret Pentagon task force on unidentified aerial phenomena, tells 60 Minutes the government has been covering up the truth until now.
What you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Well, I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
In 2004, U.S. Navy pilots were sent to pursue a UFO.
Let's look at your account, Wolf.
About 100 miles off the coast of San Diego. It was about the size of a fighter plane, but traveling many times faster than the speed of sound. Two pilots spoke out for the first time about what they saw.
And we saw this little white tic-tac looking object. It just turns abruptly and starts near me. So as I'm coming down, it starts coming up.
So it's mimicking your moves.
Yeah, it was aware we were there.
It was traveling so fast, it just disappeared off the radar screen.
If I saw this solo, I don't know that I would have come back and said anything because it sounds so crazy when I say it.
What are these things? Acclaimed physicist Michio Kaku says the 60 Minutes report is just the latest sign that UFOs are finally being taken seriously. Have things dramatically changed because of this footage?
This is a game changer. We have to keep our minds open to the possibility that this could be extraterrestrial. We cannot rule it out.
So there really may be something out there after all.
The Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense have been ordered to deliver a report on UFOs to the Senate Intelligence Committee. That'll be next month. That tiger we showed you wandering around a Houston neighborhood has been found. It now has
Let's
a new
try.
home at the Shelter for Exotic Animals. And the man suspected of being his owner has a whole bunch of legal problems. Here's Wes Trent.
Here is India the tiger today. The tiger on the lam in Houston for 6 days now has a new home at the Cleveland Amory Black Beauty Ranch in Texas. The search for India came to an end.
Don't go live though, Wolf.
Let's
Let's just see if it's enabled. If it's enabled, then why didn't it count?
On the front lawn of a quiet Houston neighborhood.
Why didn't your broadcast count last week? It says 3 locations. Let's check.
The 9-month-old tiger Milk as he awaited transport to the animal sanctuary 3 hours away. New footage shows India carefully being transported
YouTube,
and offloaded from its small cage
Twitter.
to a much larger holding area at the animal sanctuary.
Why didn't your broadcast count last week, Wolf?
For a month before being allowed to roam around the grassy half-acre property. I spoke to Noel Almra, the sanctuary director. I'm assuming that this tiger is potentially dangerous at this age.
Oh, absolutely. He is a wild animal. He is a predator, and you are never going to tame or domesticate an animal just because you raise them from a cub.
We're learning more about the behind-the-scenes effort at locating the tiger. This woman acted as a go-between. Her name is Linda Mackinvale. She owns an animal sanctuary and is married to a local businessman and philanthropist known as Mattress Mac. She knows Gia and Victor Cuevas. The big mystery for days was where was this tiger and how did you persuade them to turn the tiger in?
You couldn't go.
I was texting saying, hey, can we talk? You know, it would be good. I didn't.
Let's try and see what. Well.
And finally on Saturday, I heard that they had located where the tiger was at. They were going to be able to get the tiger.
Police believe the tiger
Let's check your
was shuttled from one home
broadcasts.
to another before being turned over to authorities. Now India is at his forever home.
Let's check your
The Animal
broadcast, Wolf.
Sanctuary posted this photo of India's bejeweled collar, saying he will no longer be treated like a pet, but the wild animal he deserves to be.
It says 5 days
If
ago.
you were thinking
Why
of
didn't it
getting your
count?
little girl one of those mermaid bathing suits for summer, you need to see this next report and pay attention. They may be as cute as they can be, but a number of parents are sounding the alarm about close calls they've had because of the suit.
This adorable bathing suit for kids is all the rage as summer vacation approaches. It features a bottom piece called a monofin to make you look like Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
It says 0 weeks in a row. I don't understand.
swimsuit may be cute, it can also be dangerous, as parents sound the alarm after they say their children nearly drowned while wearing one just like this. One mom posted this video showing her daughter struggling to come back for air while wearing the Little Mermaid bathing suit. Maybe up. Maybe up. Huh? I don't think that's a good idea. And a dad from New York says his 5-year-old daughter Annabelle was swimming in a small inflatable pool when she tucked her arms inside the costume and couldn't reach her hands out to get up. Suddenly, she was lying on the ground next to the pool, not moving. Annabelle was rushed to the hospital and spent 2 days in the pediatric ICU. Fortunately, she has made a full recovery. Swimming instructor Kelly Stryker says parents should be very cautious, allowing their little ones to wear a mermaid swimsuit.
What is the risk of a child wearing something like this in a baby pool, in a regular pool?
Well, children can drown within 1 inch of water, so no matter if it's a baby pool or a small blow-up pool, if the child ends up face down and can't right themselves, then it could be dangerous.
7-year-old Julia Kramer is a strong swimmer for someone her age, but even she struggled.
Challenges are restricted movement, inability to really get as far as she would be used to. If you were to see her come down the pool, she flows down the pool normally, but because of the tail, it actually creates some drag.
So be careful this summer and never take your eye off your kids when they're in the water.
It says
One
0
study
weeks
of
in
the
a row.
mermaid fin in Australia found that wearing it reduced a child's ability to swim by 70%. Other news today, a close associate of Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz pleaded guilty today to federal charges of sex trafficking a minor, agreeing to help prosecutors going after the Florida Republican. Meantime, Gaetz is being accused of doing drugs with this woman who allegedly had a government job but never did any work. Denver Cogliano reports
I don't know
the
why I
other
did that,
spotlight is
Wolf.
on what
Sorry.
she might know. Embattled Congressman Matt Gaetz is being accused today of snorting cocaine with this beauty who allegedly had a no-show government job. It's claimed they had an ongoing financial relationship in exchange for sex.
That's because Matt
The
Gaetz is
woman
a
is
piece of
identified as
trash.
Megan Zalonka. Her modeling portfolio describes her as a 5'9" blonde
Yes, Woof
with
Woof,
blue
I
green
know.
eyes. The Daily Beast says Megan Zalonka was Gaetz' date at a Trump Defender Gala in 2019, held at the Westgate Lakes Resort in Orlando. At an after-party allegedly held in Gaetz' hotel room, the magazine quotes 2 witnesses as saying they saw Zalonka preparing lines of cocaine on the bathroom counter. She was just one of the many pieces of arm candy he had, a source tells the Daily Beast. Today, the pressure really came down on Gaetz after his close pal Joel Greenberg pleaded guilty to charges including sex trafficking a 17-year-old minor.
In Greenberg's plea deal was this thing called a cooperation clause, and that basically is going to force Greenberg to testify against any co-conspirators. That includes that case.
Greenberg's attorney spoke outside court today.
What does this mean for Matt Gaetz?
Let me clear the cache and try again.
A plane towing the banner reading TikTok Matt Gaetz flew over the courthouse. Gaetz denies any wrongdoing and says he's been falsely accused. There is a new Miss Universe. It's Miss Mexico. And while Miss America has said no to bikinis, they were front and center at Miss Universe.
Viva Mexico! She's the new Miss Universe. 26-year-old Andrea Mesa, a software engineer from Mexico, beat out 73 other women from around the globe vying for the crown. Last year, the competition was postponed due to the pandemic. But now the show is back on at the Seminole Hard Rock and Casino in Florida. And while Miss America has done away with bikinis, here they were out in full force. The women also
Let's
stunned
sign out and
in
sign
evening
back in.
gowns. And when it came time to show off costumes from their countries, some made quite the fashion statement. Miss Singapore donned a red and white cape with the words, "Stop Asian Hate," emblazoned on the back. Miss Uruguay showed her support for the LGBTQ community with a No More Hate rainbow skirt. And Miss Myanmar revealed a sign that read, "Pray for Myanmar," the Southeast Asian country where nearly 800 people have been killed after a military coup seized power. The night belonged to Miss Mexico.
It still
now
says,
crowned Miss Universe.
when was that? And it still says 0 weeks in a row.
And the MTV Movie and TV Awards were also last night. It looks like they stole a
I missed that
Kids'
too.
Choice Awards because the slime was flowing.
MTV Movie and TV Awards and Miss
Scarlett
Universe.
Johansson is giving her acceptance speech at the MTV Movie and TV Awards when
One of the greatest.
she gets slimed by hubby Colin Jost.
MTV, you get slimed. Nickelodeon.
At least he tried to help clean it off.
Don't touch. Don't.
Comedian Leslie Jones hosted and was thrilled to be in front of a live audience after a year of pandemic restrictions. And last night, American Idol's Grace Kinsler made it into the top 3, and she's inspiring fans with more than just her voice. The 20-year-old singing sensation shows off her curvy figure in tight-fitting gowns. This sparkly red dress had her being compared to Jessica Rabbit. Wish I had your confidence when I was growing up. As a plus-size lady myself, we need more singers who look like you. So just comments from viewers applauding Grace's body positivity message. Amazing Grace indeed.
Pretty good voice, too. We'll be back after this.
Next, Summer Camp 2021.
We all want a summer of normal and fun.
What will camp look like now?
I'm so excited to get back to the place that I love.
Plus, call him Batman.
Do you want to try and see what happens? We could try and see what happens.
Inside Edition with Deborah Norville will be right back.
Maybe it didn't work because you can't broadcast to the same account at the same time. Let's try and see what happens. All right, let's try. We're going to try and see what happens. Let's go live, create new broadcast. All right, we're going to try and see this. Let's see. Live, Happs. News, save. Create broadcast.
With our unique tub-over-tub installation in just a day, it fits your schedule with no demo or mix.
Let's see. If you turn on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and it's the same account, let's see what happens. Enable camera and mic.
Call now or visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Used vehicles are in short supply, and yours is worth more than ever. Get more for your car at Toyota Portland. On the phone or in person, we'll give you a value, handle your payoff, DMV paperwork, and pay you fast with a check. Zero stress, zero.
Now it says enabled for 3 destinations. Woof, we're going to see what happens if you try to broadcast to the same. Let's try and see what happens. Do you want to put your picture up? Let's put your picture up.
When I first started training, I'm ready for the big league. This is a ninth grader. I want to be the first 15-year-old to ever hit that buzzer. This is a dream come true.
Ninja Warrior premieres May 31st on NBC.
Summer camp is back, but like everything else this year, it's a little different.
Going to sleepaway camp is what summer is all about. Last year, the pandemic pretty much shut summer camp down. But this year, expect a return to the traditional summer camp experience with certain limitations.
Often have the fantastic summer that they really should have.
We all want a summer of normal and fun.
Richard and Stephanie Moss own Camp Lennox in Massachusetts.
All right, let's see what
which has been
happens.
around For 102 years.
Yay!
These 7 youngsters can't wait to get back.
I'm so excited to get back to the place that I love. The camp, I think, is all of our second homes. I haven't really been able to get out and see my friends much, and
As a teenager, you really need that. We missed camp so much, and obviously we were super sad when it closed.
The Mosses estimate that 70% of
It says they're running.
will be vaccinated, but they're still putting in place.
It says they're running, so why didn't it count last week?
We're going to be testing 4 days before camp begins. Everyone's going to be tested upon arrival to camp. Everyone's going to be tested 4 days after camp.
Certain new rules, like mandatory hand washing, will be enforced.
It doesn't just fight off COVID. It keeps all viruses out of camp. We'll stick with that forever.
So expect joyous scenes like these from 2 years ago to be just weeks away.
It'll be a totally exciting experience to, especially this year, be at camp with that many people.
It's estimated 82% of summer camps were canceled last year. When we come back, meet Mr. Cool at the ballpark.
Closed caption sponsorship for Inside Edition.
It says you're broadcasting to... I don't understand why your broadcast didn't count last week. You were on the trending board. Why didn't it count?
Stay tuned. There's more Inside Edition to come.
Get ready for summer with Macy's Memorial Day specials, like outdoor seating and dining sets 20 to 50% off, and this Jolene sectional $1,299, plus free adjustable base or box spring with qualifying mattress purchase. Now at Macy's.
Did you know that 178 million Americans are missing at least one tooth? It's true.
That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we only focus on tooth replacement solutions.
Whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we have an experienced dentist who can create a new smile.
Did you turn off all your other channels last week, Wolf? Why didn't, like, did you turn off all your other channels?
We want you to go ahead and smile.
Maybe. Wolf wants to know why his broadcast didn't count last week. Is it because he forgot to turn on his other channels?
You're in the right place.
Maybe he didn't live stream anywhere except for Happs. Maybe that's why it didn't count.
Now remember, they're not.
It says 0 weeks in a row.
You woke up early. No one cares. Yes. So I was using something called Home Quote Explorer from Progressive to easily.
So he decided, since I wasn't having a good day, he was going to broadcast on both of my channels. Wait, what do you mean both of my channels? He's saying that's my channel. Alright, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. You decided to broadcast on your channel and my channel. But you only get you get trending on your channel. I don't get trending anymore. Maybe it's because I'm not as cute as you are.
OnPoint wants to be a part of the solution. We're trying to make electric vehicles more affordable for our membership by giving a reduced interest rate. In addition, we're going to make a contribution to a local nonprofit that's going to go out and make a lasting difference in climate change.
Introducing Gresham Subaru Fast Pass. Buy release entirely online, including your trade-in and delivery. It's easy.
Do you think that you're going to get some followers today, Woof Woof? I have more followers in terms of invites than you do, but I mean, I invited 9, you invited 0, but you got trending for like a long time, and I did not last week. Let me look at the let's open the leaderboard and see. Happs. I don't know what the sound is. Okay, let's see. Let's check the sound on your broadcast.
See the difference.
Why does it say go live again? Feed. Let's check the feed. My feed. Let's check the sound.
A baseball bat goes flying into the stands at Fenway Park in Boston. Look out, flying. What a catch! One hand, and look, he's still on his cell phone. All the way up into the seats, man on his phone. Has the bat. He hands the rope back over to his daughter, and he still never gets off the phone. It's a nice play. And still be able to keep that conversation going on his cell phone. And here he is, lifelong Red Sox fan Oliver Bennett, who was on the phone
You have 2 other views.
I didn't want to drop the phone because my 84-year-old father would have been very worried, so I kept talking right the way through the whole thing.
Guess what? He got to keep the bat.
This is it?
It's a beautiful bat, and even though the bat was from an opposing team, Oliver says he's going to put it on display.
Somebody threw the bat?
Bachelorette party that doesn't go as planned.
All right, where are you broadcasting, Woof Woof? Which accounts are you broadcasting to? Let's check. You're broadcasting to... It said you're broadcasting to my YouTube and my Twitch and my Twitter? All right. Let's check. All right. Let me check the other account. Maybe All right. Let's check the other account. Let's check my account. Let's check the sound. Wait, Woof Woof. Whose broadcast are we in? Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. All right. I'm hearing an echo. Is the sound on both of them?
It's a great time to get Domino's because right now, if you order online and carry out with Domino's Carside Delivery between 4 to 9,
oh, well. Let me turn the sound off on this one. I'll check the sound later. Let's look at the trending board and see if you're trending and if I'm not. Let's see, trending.
For a beautiful revitalized smile. I can't wait to see what comes next. Reverse early gum damage with new Colgate Renewal.
Take cover. Next.
Woof Woof, you're trending and I'm not. Could you explain that to me, please?
Did you know that your clothes can actually attract pet hair? With Bounce Pet Hair and Lint Guard, your clothes can repel pet hair. Look how the shirt on the left attracts pet hair like a magnet. Pet hair is no match for Bounce. With Bounce, you can love your pets and lint roll less.
Stay tuned. There's more Inside Edition to come.
One careless spark could send this forest up in flames in a matter of minutes. Be fire smart and follow these simple tips while camping. Call before you go to ensure campfires are allowed. Campsites with existing
Woof, have you just subscribed to Riley Weather? All right.
Never leave your fire unattended. When you're finished, drown the fire with water, stir the coals, and drown it again. Repeat until the fire is dead out. Let's work together and keep Oregon green.
Chevy is America's fastest growing full-line brand, and people are taking it everywhere. Taking Trailblazer outdoors, confidently taking on new places with Equinox, and taking on more with Silverado. Whatever you do, there's a perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. Find your perfect Chevy and get up to 18% of MSRP cash back on select 2021 Chevy SUV models, or get a total value of $4,500 on this 2021 Silverado Z71. See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
$500 COVID relief cash cards given out by the city of Portland. We discovered a lot of these prepaid debit cards never arrived. Since our story aired, people are finally...
Are you still on the trending board, Woof? Let's look.
Nice to know that there's somebody out there on our side.
Call me, and I'll look into it.
Finally today, the Bachelorette versus Mother Nature.
These ladies are having a bachelorette party.
It's downpouring in Austin.
The rain was so heavy, a gutter broke. It's a race to save their handbags.
Oh my God.
And that's Inside Edition. Thanks for watching.
Nope.
Don Lemon tonight. He got his name on the show.
I'm done running. Who's with me?
I'm not going out with everybody.
You generally know
It's Happs Pizza night. All right.
Put up adjustable base with select sets above $6.99. No one can get you a Stearns & Foster Beauty Rest Flat, Eye Comfort, or Posturepedic for less. Rest easy with free delivery and the Mattress World Northwest comfort and price guarantees. Relax on Memorial Day. Adjust your head and feet with free adjustable beds starting at just $6.99. It's not too late to sleep like a baby at Mattress World Northwest. I'm John Harwood at the White House, and this is CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by 1-800-PET-MEDS. Call or visit petmeds.com to save big today.
Rely on the experts at 1-800-PET-MEDS for the same medications as the vet, but for less. With fast free.
Why is it flashing like that? Flashing live.
Good evening tonight. Republicans who say they've had enough of the Republican-led big lie about the 2020 election. There's just one catch. They're not the Republicans who can do much about it other than speak out. That's because the big lie is coming from the very top of the party. And as we'll discuss in a moment, it's being embedded by some of the nation's top GOP lawmakers who are currently in power. That said, these particular Republicans, officials in Maricopa County, Arizona, do have two things in their favor. They have the facts, in this case, about the election that the former president has been trying to discredit as a partisan bunch of so-called cyber ninjas combed the ballots for irregularities that have been ruled out again and again. They have the facts about that, and they are angry. This is Stephen Richer, Republican Maricopa County recorder who heads up the county elections department.
I have been accused of inserting fake ballots delivered from a South Korean plane. The claims have even been indulged by the Senate Majority Whip. More recently, I have been accused of deleting entire databases, even though I participated in the transference of all databases to the Senate, have seen them with my own eyes, and even though I still have access to the current fully functional voting database. It is enough. I didn't want to get involved. I wanted to sit quietly on the sidelines, but it is enough. I am now the leader of an office of 160 full-time employees, and I am tired of hearing them defamed and ridiculed. They are good people. They are hardworking people. They are people of integrity. They are my friends.
Republicans sick of the big lie. A lot like the Georgia election officials, also Republicans, also sick of the big lie, who spoke out repeatedly against the defeated president's attempt to overturn their results. And Georgia's Republican Lieutenant Governor, Jeff Duncan, who announced today that he won't be seeking a second term. He tells the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that phony conspiracy theories have dealt lasting damage to his party. And as we might add, also fueled the single worst attack on American democracy by Americans since the Civil War. Sometime this week, Wednesday, we think, House lawmakers could vote on legislation setting up a nonpartisan commission to investigate what happened that day and what led up to it. As of tonight, though, it looks like only a handful of Republicans are getting behind it. The Republican leader who supports such a 9/11-style panel, Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney, is now a former leader. She's been purged. Her replacement, New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, is pushing the big lie, and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who once very briefly spoke the truth about the attack, called out the former president's role in it, he is now dragging his feet, possibly because when it comes to telling the truth and going against the man in Mar-a-Lago, once is quite enough for him. Just as a reminder, he actually does know how to speak truth to power when he wants.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding.
Maybe not. That was just a week after the attack. Just a week later, though, he subsequently traveled, of course, to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring, and ever since has been dragging his feet on the 9/11-style commission, unless it also looks into unrelated issues such as Antifa and Black Lives Matter demonstrations last year. As CNN was first to report, Kevin McCarthy spoke with the former president during the attack, and when he asked for help, the former president reportedly said, quote, "Well, Kevin, I guess these people are more upset about the election than you are." According to a Republican lawmaker familiar with the call, Leader McCarthy told him the rioters were breaking into his office through the windows and asked Trump, "Who the F do you think you're talking to?" He did not immediately comment on that report. Recently, though, he did say
The first person to contact him when the riots was going on, he didn't see it. The end of the call was saying he'll put something out to make sure to stop this. And that's what he did. He put a video out later.
Quite a lot later. And it was a pretty weak video. Weak indeed. A 9/11-style commission with subpoena power could mean he'd be called on to testify, perhaps under oath, something Congresswoman Cheney was happy to talk about with After all, he is one of the few people that we know of that was actually talking to Donald Trump while the attack was taking place.
He absolutely should, and I wouldn't be surprised if he were subpoenaed. I think that he very clearly and said publicly that he's got information about the president's state of mind that day.
And perhaps he might be compelled to say it for the record. I asked House Majority Whip James Clyburn about it just before airing. Why do you think it is that Kevin McCarthy has pushed back on Democrats and is advocating for broadening the scope of the commission? I mean, some critics have said he wants to muddy the waters and avoid testifying about his conversations with the then president.
I have no idea what his reasons are. I do know that this is about January 6th. It has absolutely nothing to do with what may have happened someplace else in the world prior to or even after. We are all about what it takes to secure this capital. We are all about finding out what led to this insurrection and what we can do to prevent it from ever happening again.
House Majority Whip James Clyburn. And having heard at the top the Maricopa County Recorder, we're joined now by another official who spoke out this evening, Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone. He is a Democrat. Sheriff, you said this so-called audit is forcing you and other county officials to waste time, resources, and energy on what you say is political theater, and those who wish to see our nation destroyed celebrate this division. That's an end quote. Does this exercise have any credibility in your view?
Well, if it does, I think that it's getting lost in a lot of the other, as I say, the political theater, because at this point, what we see is such an extreme division that we're hurting ourselves. If there's legitimacy to the audit, let's identify specifically what those areas are. Once you start bringing law enforcement, the equipment that we're critical for infrastructure, when it comes to technology and our research to provide protection, as well as transportation and other aspects, we're drawing that away from public safety needs for our community.
I mean, one of the issues, of course, with this so-called audit is there's no guarantee of any results that this group announces will be legitimate. There's nothing to say. There's no standard procedures that they are known to be following. And not only are there all sorts of conspiracy theories floating around, but the people behind this so-called audit are actually demanding access to state government computer routers and passwords.
Yeah, and there's absolute misinformation. You know, as a county, we have many entities, whether it is county health, whether it's the recorder's office, the courts, the jails, the sheriff's office, which is responsible for the jails. Our IT infrastructure all has a common area where we share information. And although this office is siloed off because we are law enforcement and we have certain layers of protection, if you turn those routers over, that's like turning over information through the freeway system within the IT structure. So in the hands of the wrong person, what it does is it puts them at our doorstep, and an equipped and talented hacker can then breach into our infrastructure, our IT system, and either do damage to the information or draw it out for their own needs. But ultimately, as we've seen with other law enforcement agencies have been breached, we've seen it with recently an oil distributor. It is far too dangerous, and it could jeopardize not only the safety of our deputies, but it could jeopardize the safety of our community and provide information that is critical to our ability to function. So I put my foot in the cement and said, I'm not moving on this. You're not going to get our equipment. We have nothing to do with this audit. We are a law enforcement agency, and if you had not invoked or tried to suck us into this narrative, I would have stayed out on the sidelines and just focus on public safety.
Did your broadcast just crash?
I have an obligation to protect our agency and public safety for our community.
Part and parcel of that, of course, is the Republican president of the Arizona State Senate, Karen Fann. As you know, she's accused the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors of non-compliance with legislative.
Let me check.
I'm wondering what you have to say to that, and do you intend to confront the Senate president and other Republican leaders tomorrow? She's issued an invitation to county officials to appear before the hearing.
No, that to me falls into the political theater arena. We're serious here. I give credit to my colleagues, and if you look at it, when I made a commitment to take this office, for anyone who has familiarity with it, it was very politically involved, historic. I want to remove politics from public safety and keep us focused on our number one responsibility, our mission, to be a constitutional sheriff where politics has no place in our efforts. My colleagues, the majority of whom are elected Republicans, have been very bipartisan in the effort to ensure that our elections process and our system is protected, that it is fair, and that it is just. to include audits and other processes. When I look at what they have done, how convicted they are relative to protecting our information, protecting this process, protecting the people, we're not going to get caught up in things that, in my opinion, are motivated for partisan efforts. If there's legitimate information that rises to the level where you believe that there's a potential crime committed as it relates to a federal election, well, that falls in the hands of law enforcement, not some third party who is, known to be professional hackers that you've contracted with to be a part of this process. If we have a potential crime committed, then show the evidence to us and move forward on it.
Sheriff Pinzon, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Coming up next, what could be ahead for Congressman Matt Gaetz now that his former friends have pleaded guilty to half a dozen charges and cut a deal with the feds. Also, with states dropping mask mandates this week, a question: is the moment that we've all been waiting for coming too soon? We'll talk to one expert in their opinion, and later new reporting you never expect to see. After decades of public denial, the Pentagon now admitting that when it comes to UFOs, there is something out there.
Anderson Cooper 360, brought to you by CFP Professionals. Feel confident in your financial plan. Visit letsmakeaplan.org.
We've saved our money. Now we get to spend it our way.
But we worry if we have enough to last.
For retirement planning, investment advice, and more, look for a CFP professional. CFP Professionals can help you craft a complete financial plan that gives you confidence today and tomorrow. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.
Our Confident Forever plan is possible with a CFP professional.
I wanna see the stand. I wanna
So many praise over here. You know how it typically goes. First you have ear nose issues, then you have yeast issues. Stop going in circles. Azo-gel protection fights yeast growth and urinary tract bacteria. Own your day with Azo.
Got bugs in your house? Stop using traditional insecticides to get rid of them. Get Zevo, the bioselective insecticide. It targets and shuts down biological pathways found in insects, not in people and pets. That's what makes Zevo so deadly for bugs, plus safe to use around people and pets. They've got evolution on their side, but you've got Zevo, way smarter than bugs. Now at Walmart, Target, and Home Depot. Stay restless with the icon that does the same. The RX, crafted by Lexus.
Get 0.9% APR financing on the 2021 RX 350.
Experience amazing with your Lexus dealer.
Out here, Memorial Day weekend is an opportunity to enjoy what's around you, to take pride in your land, to fire up reasons to be together, to collect new memories, and grow in fresh ways. You live life out here to the fullest. So in more than 1,900 communities, we're here with everything you need to bring on the new day, and with the services that make shopping easier than ever. Tractor Supply, everything you need for life out here.
Age-related macular degeneration may lead to severe vision loss.
So the National Eye Institute did 20 years of clinical studies on a formula only found in Preservision.
If it were my vision, I'd ask my doctor about Preservision.
It's the most studied eye vitamin brand.
If it were my vision, I'd look into Preservision.
Only Preservision A-Reds 2 contains the exact nutrient formula.
Oh wait, that's my feed. My feed, but if I go to trending,
I have AMD. It is my
only
vision.
Woof Woof
So my
is
plan
trending
is
if he's still on there. I'm gonna ask
Hey,
why.
I need a new wireless plan for my business, but all my employees need something different.
Oh, we can help with that. Okay.
See, Woof Woof's still on the trending list. Me, not so much.
We cut to downtown. Your sales rep Lisa has to send some files, like ASAP.
So basically, I can pick the right plan for each employee.
Yeah, I should have just led with that.
Did someone check? Okay, who commented? Hello, John Michael. Hey. Woof Woof says hello. We want to know why Woof Woof gets on the trending list and I don't. Woof Woof's looking for new follows on. What's the topic? At the topic at the moment is trying to figure out the algorithm, because Wolf got on the trending board last week, but didn't. It said he didn't broadcast last week. Maybe he didn't turn on any of his other channels.
Get started for free.
Easy tonight.
It's a good look.
The Florida Republican is now waiting to learn what, if anything, his former friend and so-called wingman is ready to tell the feds now that he's pleaded guilty to 6 federal charges, including that he knowingly solicited and paid a minor for sex. We're now at the congressman from Randy K.
Is the sound okay?
These courtroom sketches capture Joel Greenberg huddling with his attorneys. He was dressed in a dark jumpsuit, his hands shackled in front of him. Greenberg is a former tax collector in Seminole County, Florida, who was once an ally of Congressman Matt Gaetz. That friendship may explain this banner someone was flying overhead during court. It reads, TikTok Matt Gaetz.
He's cuter than I am.
The Florida congressman could find himself in hot water, given Greenberg's admission in court that he, Greenberg, knowingly solicited and paid for sex with a minor, and says others did too.
Mr. Greenberg has pled guilty.
That's because you're on Wolf's account.
Plea agreement. It has certain requirements and obligations on him, and he attempts to honor that.
Honoring that 86-page plea agreement means Greenberg could be called on to testify against others and provide information about co-conspirators, who may include Congressman Matt Gaetz. The Florida Congressman
Harbor Journal 2, the number 2.
Or in court, though investigators are still trying to determine if Gaetz has also been involved in sex trafficking, prostitution, or sex with a minor. Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing and has not been charged with a crime.
Does my client have information that could hurt an elected official?
I'll type it in the chat.
This is just, must-see television. We'll just have to wait and see.
In the plea agreement, and this is key, Greenberg admits he introduced that same minor he was sexually involved with to others who also had sex with her. Question is, who are those other men? And will Greenberg name them in the hopes of getting a lesser sentence? As part of his plea, Greenberg agreed to provide substantial assistance. That may be why the Department of Justice cut a deal with him, allowing Greenberg to plead guilty to just 6 federal charges instead of the 33 counts he was facing.
I think he's feeling...
You don't like my name?
...sense of acceptance, and he definitely feels a sense of remorse.
At a Republican event over the weekend, Gaetz played down...
He was trending with no sound last week. After his bedtime, no sound, trending until the phone died.
Naughty favors or something more. That may come down to what Joel Greenberg shares with investigators.
Randy joins us now. I mean, given Greenberg's own history...
Thank you.
He's certainly, not necessarily a credible witness.
Yeah, Anderson, that's the real issue. He has a credibility problem. In fact, as part of his plea deal, he admitted to falsely accusing a teacher of having sex with a student back in 2019, spreading rumors that teacher had actually raped that student on social media pages. That teacher was a political opponent of his, so that explains why he was making those false accusations. None of that was true, but this all speaks to his credibility. He now has this on his resume, if you will. He has the false accusations, the history of sex trafficking, the history of sex with a minor, a real credibility issue that will come to light if he does move forward and cooperate in this case, Anderson.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks. Joining us now, CNN senior legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Ellie Honig. Also, CNN political commentator Amanda Carpenter.
Should I email Carlos and ask why?
Gaetz wasn't named in this plea agreement, but based on your experience, how worried should he be right now?
Anderson, any way you cut this, all the prognoses for Matt Gaetz are grim right now. There's just no way around it. I keep going back to my own experience as a federal prosecutor. When I was a supervisor, if somebody had come to me and said, we've got this guy, Joel Greenberg, he's involved in sex trafficking of a minor, but I want to cooperate him, I would say, you better have rock solid proof to back him up, and you better have some very important, very worthy targets that we are confident we're going to charge before we cooperate a heinous person who's committed heinous crimes like Joel Greenberg. So if these prosecutors are operating with any competency whatsoever, they've only entered into this deal with Joel Greenberg because they intend to make big charges against important people.
I mean, given the charges against Greenberg, Ellie, he certainly seems to be very high on the sleaze spectrum. In terms of his credibility, that's something that prosecutors, they're certainly aware he lacks credibility, they must be confident in something, evidence he actually has. I mean, I would imagine they would have taken in his sleaziness into account.
Horrible definition are convicted. We saw this 86-page plea document that Randy talked about. That is a very unusual document. I've never put anywhere near that level of detail into cooperator papers. I actually used to try to put as little detail as possible because you don't want to tip anyone off. And I think what prosecutors were telling us with that document is we have the goods that backs up Joel Greenberg. That's why we saw countless references in that document to
So far, it seems like a lot of people are just sort of saying, well, I don't know anything about it.
Wolf's here to make sure I
and
don't tell you what I think of Matt Gaetz.
They certainly wouldn't take any kind of action until charges are filed.
And
At
Joel
that point,
Greenberg.
you might see him suspended from a committee assignment. There wouldn't be any more official action unless he was actually convicted. He'd be allowed to go to trial. He would remain a congressman. But what is interesting to me to watch is how he's going on tour with this America First rally, Florida, Ohio, Arizona next week, and he's sort of using his support for Trump as political cover. He's going on tour with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it's really amazing to watch. And it sort of speaks to the brain drain within the Republican Party because for every, say, Liz Cheney or Cindy McCain or Mitt Romney that decides that they can't go on with Trump as leader of the Republican Party, the more dependent those Republicans in Washington become upon people like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene because they perceive those two figures as having a strong connection with the Trump voter that they can't afford to lose. And so by going on tour and building up that support with the Trump base, it sort of makes them invincible in Washington from criticism.
And Elliot, Greenberg pled guilty to 6 charges instead of the 33 that he was facing. The one of those charges was that he knowingly solicited and paid a minor for sex. How significant is that in terms of his credibility? Was he being overcharged as to punish him?
No, Anderson, I actually think it was a tactical mistake by prosecutors to let him plead out to only 6 of the 33 counts because now, if and when the day comes when Joel Greenberg testifies against somebody, the defense lawyer is going to stand up and say, look at this sweetheart deal you got. You were charged with 33 counts. They dropped 27
Your
of them.
dog is cute.
That's going to resonate with the jury. I think the better
Wolf
practice,
said.
and the practice I was always raised with at the Justice Department, is make them, we used to say, eat the sheet, meaning plead to the entire indictment. That way, when you put him on the stand, you can say to the jury, he's an open book. He's accepted responsibility for everything he's done. So I think that was a tactical misstep.
Hello.
It's so fascinating to me, Amanda. Oh, I don't know.
It was hard to find?
It's sort of so now the way things are handled. There used to be a sense of shame, and maybe somebody accused of these kind of things might lie low a little bit, or at least have a little bit of humility about them. This is sort of taking it, the former president's playbook, and let's use these allegations to launch a national tour and try to, raise my profile, make myself a defender of the former president. And that's why I'm being prosecuted, say I'm being persecuted, and see how much money I can raise.
Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's part of the pitch. He's the victim here. He's being canceled, and he uses that to build a grievance-based credibility.
Thanks for the gift.
What is sort of amazing for me to watch is how
it's not easy to use.
Want to attack Matt Gaetz on these grounds, and I understand the justice system is going to take its course, but the House Ethics Committee is still investigating this.
How's the sound on this one?
The sexual misconduct, the allegations of illicit drug use, the misuse of campaign funds, the sharing of nude photos on the House floor that's been reported. And so even if somehow he escapes criminal repercussions, he still has to deal with that. And I'm surprised how reticent Democrats have been to be to talk about it.
Amanda Carpenter, Eliana, appreciate it. Thank you. Good news in the war against COVID. One state that was hardest hit is lifting its mask mandate. But Dr. Lena Wen says the CDC's new guidance...
See, this is where my ADHD kicks in, and it's like, I'm going to rewind that last sentence. What did she say?
For me to watch is how little the Democrats want to
attack Matt Gaetz on these grounds.
At the moment, what am I doing here? At the moment, I'm trying to figure out why Woof Woof gets trending and I don't. You said it was hard to find my account because there's no map. What am I doing here? At the moment, I'm letting you listen to CNN with me because I had a bad day. As opposed to the other days when we listen to CNN because we just do. But why am I on both accounts at the same time? Because I want to know why Woof Woof... First of all, Woof Woof's looking for 10 new invites to the app or 10 new follows, where it counts if they're the first person the person follows. But he's been given more gifts. What do you mean he's been given more gifts? What happened? No, Woof Woof didn't get any gifts ever. He's just cuter than I am. What happened? You mean why did I have a bad day? Why did I hardly sleep last night? Probably because it's May 17th and it's the date my mother died. And it's also the date years later I ended up homeless fighting my disability case. And this year, the Hebrew lunar calendar almost lines up. So the yard site, the Hebrew lunar date of when someone died, when you're supposed to light a candle, for my mother was yesterday and my grandmother was today. And I hardly slept. And so, yeah, interesting algorithm. Yeah, maybe it's because he's new. I don't know. Thank you. So I was going to try and go somewhere at 5 o'clock for the holiday, and I didn't go because I started panicking around 4 o'clock, and that was it for me because I hardly slept. And yeah, interesting algorithm that I can't figure out. I'll follow you back if I can figure out how. And you're in Calgary. I was there for the Olympics in 1988.
Yeah, let's use these allegations to launch a national tour and try to...
Yes, death is hard to cope with. Anniversaries, especially when they all are at the same time. Plus, there's a war in Israel, and my sister lives there with my little niece. And, yeah, Brian Boitano got the gold medal. I was there that night. Anyway, my head is starting to throb. I don't know. I should put on my compression stockings and drink something, like probably dehydrated. Lots going on, yeah. You suggest to make a fun topic? Ask Woof Woof. He's more fun than I am.
Raise my profile, make myself a defender of the former president. That's why I'm being
Everything he's done. So I think that was a tactical misstep there by the prosecutors. Plead out to only 6 of the 33 counts, because now, if and when the day comes when Joel Greenberg testifies against somebody, the defense lawyer is going to stand up and say, look at this sweetheart deal you got. You were charged with 33 counts. They dropped 27 of them. That's going to resonate with the jury. I think the better practice, and the practice I was always raised with at the Justice Department, is make them, we used to say, eat the sheet, meaning plead to the entire indictment. That way, when you put him on the stand, you can say to the jury, he's an open book. He's accepted responsibility for everything he's done. So I think that was a tactical misstep there by the prosecutors.
It's so fascinating to me, Amanda. Well, I don't know how fascinating it is, but I mean, it's sort of so now the way things are handled. there used to be a sense of shame, and maybe somebody accused of these kind of things might lie low a little bit, or at least have a little bit of humility about them. This is sort of taking it, the former president's playbook, and yeah, let's use these allegations to launch a national tour and try to, raise my profile, make myself a defender of the former president. That's why I'm being prosecuted, say I'm being persecuted, and see how much money I can rake in the meantime.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's part of the pitch. He's the victim here. He's being canceled, and he uses that to build a grievance-based credibility with that Trump base. What is sort of amazing for me to watch is how little the Democrats want to attack Matt Gaetz on these grounds. And I understand the justice system is going to take its course, but the House Ethics Committee is still investigating this. They're going to look at the sexual misconduct, the allegations of illicit drug use, the misuse of campaign funds, the sharing of nude photos on the House floor that's been reported. And so even if somehow he escapes criminal repercussions, he still has to deal with that. And I'm surprised how reticent Democrats have been to be to talk about it.
Amanda Carpenter, Eliana, appreciate it. Thank you. Good news in the war against COVID.
I haven't been to a restaurant in over a year.
Even if somehow
I have ordered in though.
Criminal repercussions, he still has to deal with that. And I'm surprised.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Reticent Democrats have been to be to talk about it.
Amanda Carpenter, Eliana, appreciate it. Thank you. Good news in the war against COVID. One state as hard as hit is lifting its mask mandate. But Dr. Lena Wentz says the CDC's new guidance is a mess. Why she says President Biden needs to clean it up. Now,
really?
Plus, who is out there or what? For years, the Pentagon has largely ignored reports of UFOs. Now it seems like they may be beginning to change their tune.
And so it has come to this. As a legend leaves, the late-night landscape changes.
What we have is an
Wolf has 9 viewers on his account. I have 5. Let's check the trending board.
Behind scenes, it was dramatic.
This is the guy. They love him. He was so damn funny. Witness the birth of...
But a Big Mac, I don't eat those anymore.
Sunday night at 9 on CNN.
Let's see. Oh, there's Woof Woof. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Now, am I on the board?
New projects means new project managers. You need to hire. I mean, Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from a resume.
You're sorry to hear that I don't eat McDonald's hamburgers anymore because of the antibiotics and the hormones and the fillers?
Yeah. Okay, my turn. Raspberry. Oh, no.
Oh, you're sorry to hear that I'm not on the trending board? That's what makes it good?
No.
Mint, water with a touch of true fruit flavor.
One of my favorite supplements is quinol turmeric. Turmeric helps with healthy joints and inflammation support. Unlike regular turmeric supplements, quinol's superior absorption helps me get the full benefits of turmeric. Quinol is the turmeric brand I trust.
We've got on the ropes. The billionaire buying elections. The corporate special.
MSG. I don't need that either. Wolf is telling me to go change my picture.
Before the people act is on the verge of becoming law. Reining in corporate lobbyists. Fighting banning dark food. And protecting our freedom to vote. Billionaires and special interests. Your day is nearly done. Because it's time for the people to win.
Certified turbocharger, suspension, and fuel injection.
Translation. Certified goosebumps. Certified from headlamp to tailpipe. That's certified head turns.
It's all backed by our limited mileage warranty.
That means unlimited peace of mind. Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned. Translation. The Mercedes of your dreams is closer than you think.
On the next United Shades,
It's always been the big dog social splitter dog.
we're talking about the wealth gap.
The problem is not me. It's not even the rich people. The rules are wrong. United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell. Sunday at 10 on CNN.
I like
Today's discussion will be around
vegetarian sushi, and organic gummy bears.
Land of Frost Premium. Fresh look, same great taste. Batter up, and by that, we mean batter it up, deep fry it, and turn it into a delicious party. That's how we roll at Batter on Deck. We're a fun new food.
Yes, woof woof, you're still on the trending board.
Links and franks, and turn them into tasty corn dogs. New, our tornado potato. It's a whole spiral cut potato, deep fried. Add toppings like Philly cheesesteak, bacon cheddar, chili cheese, hot Cheeto, and more. Find
Oh, somebody commented. Let's see what they said.
Allergy sufferers, bedtime means it's time to take Zysol. Zysol relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. And in a clinical study, after just one day, 90% felt powerful 24-hour relief. So, be wise all, take Zysol at night.
I'm Caitlin Collins at the White House, and this is CNN.
Breaking news tonight, New York is joining the growing list of states adopting the new CDC guidelines on masks. Starting Wednesday, fully vaccinated New Yorkers will not be required to wear masks or social distance. Also, Washington, D.C. made it effective today. New Jersey is only allowing no masks outdoors. They're still needed indoors for those vaccinated. Massachusetts is dropping the mandate May 29th. California will next month. Still, there's a lot of confusion over the new guidance, with some praising it, others questioning it. CNN's medical analyst, Dr. Lena Wen, is not a supporter of the move. She warns the Washington Post, quote, "This relaxation is premature, could lead to a resurgence of infections." She adds, quote, "This was a major blunder that threatens to set back much of the progress made, but President Biden needs to fix it urgently." Dr. Wen joins me now. So, fix it how?
By rolling back the...
Well, first we have to recognize the problem, Anderson, which is that the CDC got the science correct, but they got the policy and the communication really wrong. I think that they were trying to give essentially individual level guidance as if they were a doctor. I think it's appropriate for a doctor to tell the patient, once you're fully vaccinated, you're now well protected from getting COVID-19. But that's very different from then saying that to the country, because it was then understood as community or societal level guidance, which is the reason why we've seen mask mandates just being dropped across the country. And so I think the Biden administration, it may be too late to unring the bell and apply mask mandates again. But I do think that they can encourage certain locales and certain businesses that are continuing to have mask mandates in place. And I think they should really work on vaccine verification, because at this point, that's really what's needed in a lot of places, especially with high levels of community transmission, to help keep customers, students, employees, and other people safe.
So when you talk about vaccine verification, it doesn't seem like there's an appetite for that in the Biden administration.
Yeah, I think they have been very queasy about this whole concept, and in some ways I understand why, but I also think we need to frame it differently. This whole concept of a vaccine passport seems to signify some kind of national ID, but I think we should be thinking about this more like a Easy Pass or a TSA pre-check. That maybe for everybody else, they have the symptom check, maybe they also have testing, but if you then have proof of vaccination, you're able to skip these steps. And so I think a lot of businesses are really asking for this. And now is the opportunity for the Biden administration that's already been working on help.
Big office deciding everybody has to be vaccinated, but stores and such, it seems difficult.
Yeah, I think that different types of businesses can approach it differently. If you're a university or you're an individual employer, you can certainly ask for your students or your employees to have proof of vaccination. Stores, I mean, I'm a Costco member, and every time I go into Costco, they check to see that I have an ID. So it is something that we do on a regular basis. But I think at the end of the day, we have to think about why it is that we're doing it. We're doing this to protect those who are unvaccinated. Right now, only 37% of the country is fully vaccinated. The percentage of African Americans, Latino Americans vaccinated is much lower than that. Certain communities are well below 37%. And so I think we really have to consider what is our obligation to protect the most vulnerable, some of whom cannot yet be vaccinated, like children, and why our policies right now don't reflect that.
Yeah, I mean, for families with kids, obviously, there's certainly concern, given that kids under a certain age can't be vaccinated. We're seeing a lot of states lifting mask mandates, major retailers lifting mandates too. All metrics are down, which is certainly good news. People are finally feeling good about where we are. Is that wrong? I mean, you're saying people shouldn't?
I think there are certain communities where the vaccination rate is really high that actually it might have been time in those places to lift mask mandates. But there are others that are not there yet. And we are potentially endangering individuals like young children or people who are immunosuppressed and now feel like they can't even go to the store because things that were lower risk now has just become higher risk. If they're now going to be surrounded by unvaccinated, unmasked people who think that the pandemic is over, it's more risky for individuals who are not vaccinated or who are immunosuppressed. And then we also have a situation of potentially increasing hotspots. There are places with low vaccination rates where we could end up having surges as a result of this. And I just wish that the CDC had consulted anybody from a local state government, a mayor, a health official, even business owners who could have told them about the unintended consequence. Because ultimately, what was the rush here? Why was there such a rush to get out this guidance when even a week or two of thoughtful deliberation could have prevented it?
Should New York lift its guidance like they're going to lift its mandate?
Look, I would prefer that that governors and mayors tied the lifting of mandates to certain numbers. For example, actually in Maryland, where I live, the governor had previously said that once we get to 70% of adults getting a first dose, that mask mandates could be lifted at that point. Governor Hogan actually rolled back this guidance because of the CDC, and now there are no more mask mandates in Maryland. Certain jurisdictions still have it, but no more in Maryland. And my point is that having numbers tied to this makes a lot more sense when our country is not homogenous. We don't have 37% fully vaccinated across the country, and I think tailoring your recommendations to each community is really key.
Yeah, Dr. Lena Nguyen, I appreciate it. Thanks. Coming up next, live report from the Middle East on the violence there at the White House and what President Biden is saying about it, as well as questions about whether he could be doing more. Ahead.
Not everything was built to support a big guy like me. Luckily, I found footwear that gives me the support I need. Try Skechers Arch Fit footwear with podiatrist certified arch support.
Yeah, we'll share our home mattress for French fries. Did you know you can get 5 more matches if you give your social security number?
No one really tries to be unsafe.
Wi-Fi's down. I'll try the neighbors.
But every time you give up info and privacy, you give up a little safety too.
So Wolf is still on the trending board.
Fine, Mom. They just need a picture of my driver's license.
John Michael, are you still here?
Online privacy and identity all in one. Opt into cyber safety at Norton.com.
Call 1-800-SANDALS. Hi, this is Sustainable Market.
Let's check your account and see if anyone commented on your broadcast.
So let's bring on social good, but bringing home the groceries. Get started now and get 5 sustainable favorites free.
10 years ago, we found a
No.
because we were confident we could deliver.
But you have 10 viewers, Woof, and I only have 5.
Serving more than 27,000 customers a month, lowering payments, providing jobs, and investing in neighborhoods and communities nationwide.
We know what it means to put down roots and bring dreams to life.
At Loan Depot, we know.
Home means everything.
I'm just doing a math problem. Let's just say algebra or something, and I need help.
Good writing. We have the help. A whole bag of help. Big chunk of help.
But he does a completely weird algorithm that he did when he was 10 years old.
Yeah, it's called the road to the solution.
Okay.
It's a long road.
Greenleaf can help with that long road. Just point and shoot your math problem to get step-by-step guidance. It's quick and easy, and best of all, free. Get the Greenleaf app now.
He was charming, not the monster that those victims saw.
How was he able to get on the dating game? We're gonna have a great time together, Cheryl.
Very Scary People, The Dating Game Killer, hosted by Donnie Wahlberg. All new Sunday night at 9 on HLN.
Jet, toss me the frisbee.
I could do you one better. With cheddar.
Everything's better with cheddar, like my new cheddar biscuit breakfast sandwiches with cheddar baked right in. Only a
Woof
Jack in
Woof
the Box.
says hello. Thanks for watching
home is the start of realizing
his
bigger
broadcast.
dreams with your family. That's why it's important to protect everything you love with American Family Insurance. Wait, what's that?
It's their dream car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's actually my dream car. I have a little dream tire swing with some dream trees. There'll be a nice dream garden right here, too.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream
Been planning
fearlessly.
in-person events for the last 10 years. She started her business in
Make breakfast better
2016,
with
but
cheddar. My new cheddar biscuit breakfast sandwiches with cheese baked right into the biscuit, hickory smoked bacon or grilled sausage, and a freshly cracked egg. Try it today. Only at Jack in the Box.
Don Lemon tonight, tomorrow at 10 on CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by 1-800-PET-MEDS. Call or visit petmeds.com to save big today.
Rely on the experts at 1-800-PET-MEDS for the same medications as the vet, but for less, with fast free shipping. Visit petmeds.com today.
The worst fighting in years rages on between Israel and the Palestinians. Tonight, Israel has pounded Gaza with airstrikes. Hamas has been firing.